Welcome guys, we are back with a new video with a new topic, direct indirect speech in grammar. It is for middle school grammar. So let's begin. So let's understand what is direct speech. The technique of reproducing the exact words spoken or written by a person is called direct speech. Example, Raj said, I am playing cricket. Now here if you notice the words in green, I am playing cricket. These are the exact words said by Raj. Raj said, I am playing cricket are the exact words used in the sentence. That's why it is called direct speech. Now, this same thing can be said in other way. So, now let us see what is indirect speech. Indirect speech, when the words spoken or written by a person are reproduced in our own words by changing the tense and the person, is called indirect speech. For example, Raj said that he was playing cricket. Now, this is Raj said that he was playing cricket is indirect speech. It is also called reported speech. Let's see the difference between the two sentences. And this difference only we are going to learn in this video later on. So let's go forward. The basic difference what you see here is indirect speech. There are comma, inverted commas used in the sentence. That is, the actual words are enclosed in inverted commas. Indirect speech. But in indirect speech, the quotations marks, that is the inverted commas, are not there. So that is the basic difference if you want to identify the sentence which it is in direct speech or it is in indirect speech. Now let's understand this concept through this example or an instance. There are three scenarios in this. The first scenario is at home. Her daughter Monica, it's a scenario between them. Mother says, I think you are neglecting your studies. How can you do this? I'm coming to meet your class teacher this Saturday. Start studying. Aren't you aware that your exams are ahead? Monica says, sorry, mom. So this happens at home. Now let's see what happens at school the next day. Monica. It's a dialogue between Monica and Nidhi. Okay. Monica says, do you know, Nidhi, what a heavy dose my mom gave me yesterday? Nidhi. Oh, really? Monica. She said, I think you are neglecting your studies. How can you do this? I'm coming to meet your class teacher this Saturday. Start studying. Aren't you aware that your exams are ahead? Now, if you notice the colored words, the colored part of the sentences, this is all what Monica's mother had said her yesterday. And she is reproducing it in front of Nidhi as it is, without changing a single word. Quotations, inverted commas, exclamation marks, question marks, everything is as it is. So this we can say is direct speech. Now, after a few days, there is a result. It's a result day. So what happens in between Monica and Nidhi? Monica says, Nidhi, see, I got A grade in all subjects. This owes to mom. Do you remember her? That heavy dose? Nidhi, yes, I do. Auntie had said that she thought you were neglecting your studies and that how could you do that? She also threatened you that she was coming to meet our class teacher the same Saturday. She also warned you to better start studying. She also asked you if you weren't aware that your exams were ahead. Now, if you notice this colored part, this is everything what Aunt has said to Monica. Or, but Nidhi has changed it in her own words. The quotation marks are not there here now. So now we can say this is indirect speech or reported speech because she is reporting what Monica's mother had said few days back. You can notice many changes, other changes also, just like the pronouns have changed, the tense has changed, and so many things are there. Now, all these things we are going to learn in other following slides. So let's move on forward. Now just have a let's have a look why we should learn direct and indirect speech. What we are going to get from this. So the uses of direct and indirect speech is that it is helpful for reporting the correct information. It is used for reporting the correct information. Just as Nidhi reported it, isn't it? After a few days. Of course, it is very useful while gossiping. And third is for flawless conversation. When two people are talking with each other, telling about something, third person who is not present there, a flawless conversation takes place only when we know how to use direct indirect speech correctly. That's why it's very important to learn this topic. Now let's have a look at the basic rules. In direct speech, the speaker's words are enclosed in inverted commas and they are separated from reported verb by a comma. So this is the first rule, as I earlier told you. And on the other hand, in indirect speech, there are no inverted commas, question marks, and exclamatory marks in reported speech. So these are the two basic rules that we have to know when we learn direct indirect speech. What are other rules? Tenses of the sentence doesn't change if the reported verb is in present tense. This we are going to learn in the following slides. So it is not compulsory to change the tense every time. If the reported verb is in present tense, it remains, the sentence also remains in present tense. And there are many other reasons why the tense may not change. We are going to learn it in the following slides. If the reporting verb is in past tense, then there is a backshift of a tense. Means whatever tense is there in that sentence, there is one backshift. For example, simple present tense, if it is in the sentence, it becomes simple past tense. All these things we will learn in the following slides. Now, pronouns. Pronouns change accordingly. For example, as we saw in the previous slides, first person becomes third person. Time and place related words also change. This also we will learn in the following slides. Some more rules are there, like modal verbs change. Must becomes had to. May becomes might. Will becomes would, and so on. The sentences which already have should, could, would, they remain the same. Some tenses also remain same, like past perfect and past perfect continuous tenses do not change. They remain the same. So now let's move on to the next slide. Now let's learn tense related rules as I told you in the previous slide. First, tense wise. Okay, the first one, simple present tense, it changes to simple past tense. For example, Raghu said, I am a science teacher. It will change to Raghu said that he was a science teacher. Here, said is the reporting verb. It is a comma is used after that, then inverted commas. What Raghu said, it is all included in the inverted commas. And it's a full stop, that is, it is a statement. Now, here, inverted commas and commas are all removed, and this comma becomes that. Raghu said that he was a science teacher. Tense has changed. I am. I has changed to he. Am has changed to was. Backshift of one tense, isn't it? Other things remain the same. Now, second one. So, simple present tense changes to simple past tense. Next one. Present continuous tense changes to past continuous tense. Neetu said, I am cooking veg biryani. Neetu said that she was cooking veg biryani. Here again, quotations are removed, comma is removed, that is introduced. The pronoun changed from I to she, am becomes was. Other things remain the same. It's very simple, isn't it? Next one. Present perfect tense changes to past perfect tense. I have done it, he said. He exclaimed that he had done it. In exclamatory marks is removed, inverted commas are removed. Pronoun I becomes he, comma changes to that, and said becomes exclaimed. He exclaimed, since it is exclamatory sentence, we will use the word exclaimed. This we are going to learn in other slides later on. He exclaimed that he had done it. Here also you can add he exclaimed happily that he had excitedly. These words you can use. Okay, now let's move on to the next slide. Present perfect continuous tense changes to past perfect continuous tense. He said she has been staying in Manchester since last 2 years. Now it will change to he told me that she had been staying in Manchester since last 2 years. So in this way the changes take place. Has been becomes had been. And then most of the things remain the two same. Okay, inverted commas are removed in reported speech. As I told you in the previous slide, past perfect tense remains the same. For example, I had worked in this bank earlier, she said. Becomes, she said that she had worked in that bank earlier. Now here you can see some changes. I has become she. This word changes to that. So few words change. As I told you, time related and place related words change. So this is one example. We are going to learn this in the later on slides. So now, as I told you earlier, modal verbs also change. First one, will. Will changes to would. He said, I will catch you later. He told me that he would catch me later. See the changes, okay? Said becomes told me because I am the object here. He is talking to me. So he told me. Said becomes a comma changed to that. That I becomes he. Will becomes would. You becomes me later. So these changes takes place when a word sentence changes from direct speech to reported speech. Will changes to would, and many other changes take place like pronouns also change accordingly. The next one, may changes to might. Rupa said they may leave for London today itself. Rupa told me that they might leave for London the same day itself. Okay, here again inverted commas are removed. Comma is replaced by the word that. Said becomes told me. May becomes might. Today changes, time related word. Today changes to the same day. Okay, so small changes take place when we change from direct speech to reported speech. Next one, can. Can changes to could. I can swim since childhood, he said. Changes to he revealed that he could swim since childhood. So we can use such reporting verbs like revealed instead of said. And can becomes could. Other things remain the same. As I told you earlier, would, should, must, they all remain the same. Sometimes must change to had to. Let's move on forward. Let's go to the next slide. Now let's learn very important what happens when the sentence is not a statement. It can be imperative sentences. What happens when the sentences are imperative and interrogative? Let's see one by one. First, requests. We are going to learn through examples. So first example, Ragini said, please maintain silence. Here you can see it's a imperative sentence. Please maintain silence. It's an imperative sentence. It's a request. So we can use the reporting verb instead of said, requested. Ragini requested. Now here we will not use that. We are going to use to infinitive. To. Ragini requested to maintain silence. Please word is not used in the reported speech because requested word we have already used. So this is the format of change from imperative request sentence to reported speech. Ragini requested to maintain silence. Very easy. Next one, if the sentence is an order. Teacher said, stand up at once. Teacher ordered the students to, just like the previous one, to stand up at once. There is no change in the sentence. It will be as it is. Here we don't have to think about the tenses because these are imperative sentences. Now let's see commands. The captain said, turn left. The captain commanded his soldiers to turn left. The captain commanded his soldiers to turn left. So the same pattern you have to use to infinitive and the words turn left. Now just see, say for example the sentence is negative. Then how we are going to change it to reported speech. Let's see. Teacher said, don't talk. Teacher ordered the students not to talk. Here we have to use the word not to. Don't. Sorry. So this is the pattern of changing negative sentences. Now let's see about interrogative sentences. In imperative sentences, we have not thought about the tense at all. Now, yes, interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences are of two types. First is yes no questions. Means the question is asked which has the answer yes or no. Okay? Two options are there, that means. So how we are going to change it into reported speech? Sam said to Tom, "Do you hear me?" Sam asked Tom if he heard him. Now here the tense matters. That back shift of tense is going to happen here. The sentence here is in present simple. It will turn to simple past. Yes, and said becomes asked because it's a question. Sam asked Tom if word will come, if conjunction, if he heard him. Okay, this is the pattern format how we have to change interrogative yes no question into reported speech. Now let us see another type of question, that is WH type of question. Example, Rahul said, "When are you leaving?" It's also a question. So here how we are going to change. Again the word said becomes asked. Rahul asked me when I was leaving. So backshift of one tense. Present becomes past. Full stop. Question mark is not there in the reported speech. And it becomes past was. Rahul asked me when I was leaving. In this way, we are going to change all type of sentences. Let it be a statement, let it be a positive sentence, negative sentence, request, order, command, yes, no question, WH type question. All these type of sentences can be converted into reported speech with proper format that we have learned just now. You have to revise all these concepts to and learn the basic things and keep them in mind whenever we do other exercises of direct and indirect speech. There are many reported verbs we can use in the sentences reported speech. Okay, in the previous slides we learned two three, asked, requested, like that, claimed, exclaimed. So there are some more reporting verbs like claimed, agreed, reminded, warned, asked, inquired. These are all different reporting verbs which we can use in the reported speech to make, to give more emphasis, to give more perfection in your reported speech. Now, if you remember in the previous slide, one of the previous slides, I had told you that in some scenarios the tense does not change. So let's learn now when the tense does not change. First scenario is when the sentence is a universal truth. For example, teacher said, "The sun rises in the east." Now, as you know, children, the sun always rises in the east. We cannot change it to past. So we have to keep as it is in the reported speech. The sentence becomes, "Teacher told the students that the sun rises in the east." Don't change the verb. There is no back shift when it is a universal truth. Second scenario is when it is a scientific fact. For example, teacher said, "Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius." This will change to, "Teacher told the students that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius." It's a fact, so it will remain the same. the tense does not change. The third scenario is when it is a habitual action. For example, he said, I love reading a lot. This will change to he told me that he loves reading a lot. Here there will be no backshift of the tense because it is a habitual action. It will He will always love reading, so the tense will not change. As I told you earlier in this video that time and place related words change when we change a sentence from direct speech to reported speech or indirect speech. So what are these words? For example, now becomes then in reported speech. Today becomes that day. Tomorrow becomes the next day. Yesterday becomes the day before or the previous day. Last month becomes month before or the previous month. Here becomes there. This becomes that. Next year becomes the following year. Ago becomes before or previously. Now it's exercise time. So revise, take your book and pen and start solving the exercise. And afterwards, check the answers from here. Thank you for watching the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.